Well, let's get some reaction to this now. Afriforum instructing its lawyers to prepare a case to ensure that the matric results are published. The organization's head of cultural affairs is Alana Bailey, who joins us now via the virtual platform. Alana, good evening to you and thank you for your time. You've instructed your lawyers to basically be on standby. Why do you feel so strongly about this matter?
Good evening, Tolly. We had a case in actually starting in 2021 and with a judgment passed in January 2022 about the right of learners to have their matriculation results publicly published. At the time, the Department of Education actually issued an order not to publish, and the matric class of 2021 was very concerned about this fact. There were quite a lot of compelling reasons why they wanted their results to be published, including that some of them said that they wouldn't be at the school or in the vicinity or even in the country at the time when the announcements would come, and they still wanted to have access to their results. They wanted to know whether it's good or bad news. And some of them who simply said it's in public interest that it should be announced, and also some of them saying that, and this is something that comes through very strongly, it's almost part of the ritual of writing matric to have your results somewhere in a newspaper. And we've been contacted in the last few days by a lot of printed papers, and they all say it's a very emotional issue for matriculants. And I can agree with that. I wrote matric 41 years ago, and I still have the newspaper with my name. At that time, we didn't even have numbers; we had names in the publications.
Yeah.
And I'm still keeping it after all of these years. So I think it's also an important kind of a rite of passage for matriculants to have that newspaper with their number and their results in their hand at the end of matric.
Listening to the chairperson of the Information Regulator this morning, in the age of digital era, it would suggest that there has to be ways to communicate that result to individuals, because for her, this is about individuals' rights to privacy that should not be violated, which is why she is invoking that POPIA Act, that this is personal information, therefore it should not be published. In fact, I listened even further when she was questioned, but ID numbers, people's ID numbers are not written in the newspaper. It's simply, I think, your student number. And she says, no, student numbers are sequential. People will be able to figure out who it is that has their results published. Let me ask you this question. How much money do you have in the bank? Because she is just as prepared to fight this in court.
Well, I think the judgment that was passed in 2022 gives us confidence that we have quite a strong case that the number already protects your privacy. But I hear what she says about sequential numbers being issued and children sitting in sequence. I'm sure if you really want to know somebody else's results, there are ways that you're going to find that out. But randomized numbers seem like a good idea for future use. I just wonder why in November 2024 we hear this. It's not a surprise that children write matric in November and October and finish in December. So why did the Information Regulator wait until this late stage to make the announcement? Actually, what should have happened is that directly after January 2022, when the court order was issued, they should have started working on a system. And I believe at some schools already the parents were asked to give consent for the publication of the results. So some schools already started getting things in place, but why wasn't it rolled out all over the country? Why at this late stage do we once again have to approach court to get the same privilege or the same opportunity for matriculants that all the years beforehand.
Well, just as a parting shot and very briefly, if you can, for Afriforum, is it a foregone conclusion that these results will be published in newspapers come January?
As far as we will be able to ensure that that will happen, yes.
Very confident indeed. Alana Bailey, thank you very much for your time, Head of Cultural Affairs at the Afriforum organization.